Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Felsbrunn Farm. So it's morning again, the sun is just coming up over the hills as you can see. A little bit of cloud cover this morning and we need to do some spraying. So yesterday as we ended, I was starting some spray jobs. I took on 3 more jobs on top of that and we made around about 25 grand from spraying, which is quite nice. Quite a nice little extra bit of cash. So that's put us in a decent little bit of a position financially. It's really helped us out. It all goes towards improving our situation in terms of working towards getting new land. And what I've done on top of that was also bought an extra couple of pallets of fertilizer. So there's some fertilizer already in the sprayer, and then there's another pallet which I stuck on the trailer for now. So you can see we've got just under 1500 litres left in this tank here, and then another full 2000 litre tank just there on the trailer. Let's get these fields sprayed first of all before we do anything else. Get some lights on to start with, although with the sun coming up we shouldn't need these for too long. There we go. So this is stage 1 growth of our canola fields. It'll be interesting to see if the canola has changed at all texture-wise. It looks maybe a touch different. I don't know. Again, it's tough to say whether it's just the way it looks because the lighting engine is different, or whether it's the actual plant texture has changed a little bit. I'm curious to see what it looks like when it starts flowering, and that'll happen throughout the course of the day. What I'm going to do, in fact I'll do it now thinking about it, is I'm going to actually turn crop growth on during the day. Now that we've got the weeding out of the way, these crops can grow uninhibited and unhindered. We won't have to worry about weeds popping up and growing very fast, very quickly. We'll be in a position where we can just let this stuff grow, and hopefully that'll speed up our tree growth a little bit as well. I really would like to see those start to get a little bit taller, a little bit faster. I'm itching to cut those down and make some extra cash. And we were talking about going scavenging last time. We didn't get round to it. We're going to do that as soon as I finish the spray. We're going to grab a trailer and we're going to go out and start hunting some of those loose logs in the forestry zones. There's quite a few of them dotted around the map, so we've got plenty of locations to sort of scout out for those loose logs. We won't have to cut any down. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when it comes to actually cutting our trees down. We're going to have 60 trees to cut down. That's a lot of trees. It's going to take a long time to cut them all down by hand, so I am wondering whether or not to perhaps lease a bit of equipment for that. Maybe a Scorpion King, maybe the Komatsu tree harvester. They're going to be expensive though, and that's going to eat hugely into our profits. I mean, the obvious way would be to just get a chainsaw and do them all by hand, but I'm thinking about the time involved in that, and it's a bit odd. Huh. It almost looks like a strip that hasn't been fertilised. Let's take a look. Maybe it was a leftover bit from a previous harvest, a bit of fertiliser left on the field, and that was already at stage 2, which is why it didn't get any fertiliser applied just there. A little bit odd. You can see it more clearly there, look. Those little stretch of tyre tracks. For whatever reason, it decided not to apply any fertiliser there. Curious. Well, pay attention to that, see if it happens again somewhere else. There's a little thin dash there, actually. Yeah, I can only assume that those are bits where Another one there, look, as well. I can only assume that's bits where the ground underneath was already at stage 2 and therefore it's not applying the fertiliser. But you can see it happening all the way down here, look. That is very odd to see it do that. But that is the only thing I can think as to why that wouldn't do that. Interesting. Oops, just clipped the silo there. And once again, we are going to be wasting a little bit of spray here. Once these trees are grown and cut down, we will be ploughing these fields together, turn them into one big strip of land. But for now, having those trees there is obviously going to prevent that. But it is going to give us a nice extra bit of cash once they're ready to harvest. Once they're ready to cut down, chop up and transport to the sawmill just in front of us, just over there. That will give us a nice little extra chunk of cash. It'll easily pay for the cost of getting them installed and set up. And hopefully, if each tree is worth a couple of thousand, then those 60 trees are going to be worth over 100 grand. So a long-term investment that will pay off. Well, I say a long-term, sort of a medium-term investment, I suppose, that will pay off quite nicely, or at least we hope will pay off quite nicely. We still have those soybean crops in our silo to sell as well, and those leftover sugar beet as well in the railroad silo. So you can see here soybean prices. Port South East and the train station mill, not bad, but we've seen higher. We've seen prices in the 17s before, you know, close to 18 per 1,000 litres. So I think we can hold off a little longer before we sell those. It's frustrating because I want to raise the cash as quickly as I can, but at the same time I don't want to sell myself short or sell the farm short by cashing in too early. And if we look at the beets, we have 251 going down at the grain elevator east. I forgot to check the price as it was going up yesterday to see where it ended up, and it's too late now. It's now lower than it was when we noticed it yesterday. But we do have two prices on the increase. We have the grain mill and the train station mill both increasing. So if they end up at a decent price, we might possibly sell those there. So we've got the potential to make a little bit of cash today. We just got to kind of wait for time to roll on through, see where we end up. And as always, we will supplement our farm with some more contracting as well. But I get the feeling that by the end of the day, our crops, or at least by this time tomorrow, our crops should be fully ready to harvest. So tomorrow we should be harvesting canola, getting that off the field. And if we've got a good price, we will take that straight to market. If not, we'll stick it in the silo and wait till we do get a good price. What is a price for canola right now as a benchmark? We've got 1,200 and change at the grain elevator east, and the train station mill is going up at 11.50 at the moment. So we've got a rough kind of ballpark figure to work from. We'll keep an eye on those prices as the day goes through, and that'll give us a good indication of what price to look for tomorrow when this field is, well, when both of these fields are harvested and that grain is sitting there either going into storage or into a sell point. So we've had some official confirmation now that Seasons is being worked on for Farming Simulator 19. I think we already kind of knew it was going to come. It was just a question of when it was going to come. And there needs to be a caveat involved in that. We know that it's going to be coming to PC. I can only assume that it will also be patched into the console version with the help of Giants, given how immensely popular that mod was and how many people I've seen saying that they're going back to 17 until 19 gets Seasons. both on PC and on console. I've seen saying that. Realismus Modding have recently posted that they are experimenting with weeds in terms of how to interact or input weeds into seasons. And they posted a couple of screenshots to show everything in action. Oh, we've run out of spray. There's another little patch there, look. Obviously already had stage 2 there. But yeah, they recently posted a couple of screenshots showing off a map with some spottiness on the fields to demonstrate the weeds, and also showing the Seasons HUD on the screen as well. So yeah, looking forward to Seasons finally making an appearance. No idea how long it's going to take, and I'm sure Realismus won't be answering that question, because they probably don't know how long it's going to take for it to be fully ready. It'll obviously be ready on PC a lot sooner than it will be ready on console. That is pretty much a given. But fingers crossed we will get it on console. Like I said, I mean, the Seasons mod for 17, hugely popular. I mean, you all know how much I loved it. I feel a little bit lost without Seasons. It's one of those things that it's taking a while to adjust, going back to playing the standard way without Seasons. So the sooner that comes, the better. You know, I can't wait for that to come to console. Assuming, of course, that it does. As I say, there's been no official confirmation yet that it will definitely come to consoles. One thing is for certain, it will definitely need the help of Giants to patch the base game, unless, well, I suppose they could have made some kind of provisions, but until the code is written and the mod is complete, there's no way to know exactly how it's going to interact with the base game code. So the code is going to need to be patched, I think, for that to be implemented, just like it was on 17. It required Giants to actually patch the game itself to allow that mod to go in, because it changed the game so much. It'll be the same with 19. I have absolutely no doubt of that. So keeping my fingers crossed, we'll get it, you know, early next year. I'd be immensely surprised if it's released before the end of this year. And if it does come out before the end of this year, it'll probably be as a beta or something for PC users only. It certainly won't be on console before the end of this year. That is way too optimistic. I would like to hope by maybe by March time we might possibly see it, but I get the feeling we're probably looking at somewhere around the summer. But even so, I mean, that will still give us, you know, over a year of Seasons gameplay for Farming Sim 19 before 21 comes out. So if we have to wait, we have to wait for it. But if we get it, that'll be the important thing. Right, the spraying is done. So let's put the sprayer away. We'll actually use the Fendt today, because we've used the New Holland a lot already. So we'll give that a bit of a break. We'll change the wheels back over on this, put some wider wheels on. We'll grab a trailer and we'll go scavenging for logs. A little bit of a bump there. I probably need to give this sprayer a little bit of a fix. We've used it an awful lot recently. Let's see if it needs repairing. 40 euros. Maybe we can do that. I'll give it a quick clean as well. Shouldn't really need one, but maybe just a quick splash. There's a little bit of mud along the bottom there, look. There we go, that's all cleaned up. The Fendt again should also be nice and clean. There we go. We'll stick this back in the shed. There we go. I'm going to need to move the other trailer out of the way so that we can actually gain access to the one that's parked up. I'll have to re-secure the straps as well so we don't lose the fertilizer pallets. There we go. And we'll just park this up in here. There we go, that'll do. So, I could reconfigure the trailer, but I think we'll leave it like that. There, I think the full-sized side walls will probably be the best, just to stop the logs from rolling out as we go around a corner. And let's change the wheels over. Give us something with a bit more purchase. So, wide tyres, there we go. This thing does actually look pretty good with wides as well. I tell you what, I've been playing around with the new old school case, the 7200 Pro series. Been playing around with that, and that with wide Michelins looks fantastic. They are the closest thing we've got so far to actual proper flotation tyres. They look brilliant. And much wider than Trelleborg's, and they look squidgier as well. I really do like those. It's fast becoming one of my favourite tractors in the game. That case 7200 with the wide Michelins. If you haven't tried them out yet, I do highly recommend that you at least take a look at them in the store, because they do look brilliant. Right, let's go scavenging. We park up just here. So there we go. There's a big log there. You can see that it's just lying here. Have we got the strength to pick this thing up? Yes, we do. No, we don't. It won't let us pick this up. That's odd. What about this one here? Now that one we can pick up. So we do kind of need a chainsaw for some of these other logs that are a little bit too heavy. Throw that one in the back of the trailer. So let's buy a chainsaw. Let's see. Let's go with a husky. Oh, we don't have enough money to buy a chainsaw. Okay, we're going to have to take out 5 grand. There we go. Now let's buy that husky. Okay, and we'll chop this one in half. I don't have access to this land, so I can't cut this log, even though... Ah, okay, so we kind of wasted our money. Well, I say wasted our money. We're going to need the chainsaw anyway, but... Maybe I can nudge this log. If I can nudge it, I might nudge it out of here. Yeah. Might have to come back with the forks and the New Holland to kind of lift that out of there. Any other logs that we can scavenge in here? There's a big clumpy kind of stumpy log here. Can I pick this up? Again, that's too heavy. Here's another one. This one we can pick up. So let's throw this one in the back. There we go. Oh, no. It's... Look, see. This is what I was talking about last time out, where it's now much harder to to lose your grip. And it does apply to logs as well. Look at that. We're still attached. This thing would have gone flying in Farming Sim 17. I think now it has actually gone flying. Will it let me cut this log in half? No, wait. Okay. It will let me pick it up though. There we go. Oh, no, it's still attached. This thing would have gone flying in Farming Sim 17. I think now it has actually gone flying. Will it let me cut this log in half? No, wait. Okay. It will let me pick it up though. It will let me pick it up though. It will let me pick it up though. There's the other one. Did I get that in? Kind of. Any other logs we can scavenge? Again, that looks to be too heavy. It is. That's too heavy. You know what? I think, much as I'm loath to do it, I really wanted to do stuff with the Fent today. I think what we need to do is we need to go and get the New Holland and go and buy a log grapple of some kind. Let's go and dump these 2 logs anyway. There's more in there that we just can't pick up yet. It's just too heavy. Let's see what we can actually sell these for at the sawmill. Suppose I should put my beacon on, really, shouldn't I? I've just realised how dirty this trailer is. It's going to need a clean. There we go. Now, what we can do at the sawmill is we can click this on a trailer that has logs in, like a log trailer. We can just click L3 and it will sell any logs in the sell box, like that. Now, I don't know if it's going to do both of them. Oh, it has done, look. So, we made $360, or 360 euros from those 2 logs. It's not a lot of cash, but they were 2 small, thin-ish, spindly-ish kind of logs. It's not too bad. You know, we could have made more, but we could have made a lot less. And there are those big clumpy bits that are quite thick. They should hopefully be worth a little bit of cash as well. So yeah, I think we can afford the investment of a log claw. And then we can go and grab all those bits that we can't physically pick up because they're too heavy, dump them in the trailer, and then bring them back up here to the sawmill to sell them off. So we'll give this a quick clean while we're in here, and then we'll take the New Holland out, go buy a log claw for it, and then just start scavenging around the various different logging points around the map. So let's park this back up. There we go. I just realised how dirty the New Holland is. That's definitely going to need a clean as well. There we go. So we'll give these a quick spray off before we head out. Okay, here we go. First logging area on the way back from the store. Straight away we have quite a few logs in here. Let's detach... Oops, I detached the fork. Let's detach the trailer. There we go. Let's try picking up... What am I caught on? Oh, hitting a tree stump that I couldn't see. Let's start picking up these heavy bits that we just can't lift. And this gives me a chance to try out this log fork in Farming Sim 19. Now, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible in 17. I would often use the mod version of one of these that had 2 front forks rather than just the one. I just found it so much more effective to use. I always found that logs would fly out of this thing, that the middle finger of this claw would just flex wildly and uncontrollably, and stuff would just shake out of it really easily. Let's see how well this one does. So far so good. I'll probably pick that piece up there actually. Yep. It's a little heavy to throw in though, so we will actually try and pick this one up. And again, this is a thinner, spindlier bit, so this again is another good chance to test out just how improved this new version of the log claw is. So far again, so good. I have to say, I'm liking this claw so far. It seems to be working the way it's supposed to. Now, when we try and pick up different thickness of logs and maybe a couple of logs at the same time, it may well start to prove that it's not quite so effective, but I'm able to actually pick stuff up off the ground reasonably comfortably, which is something, again, that this was always quite tricky to do on 17 with this claw. It was always quite tricky to actually lift things straight off the ground. The finger had a tendency to just stop it from actually picking up the log. It would just kind of pull it or push it a little bit, and then the claw would snap shut without the log inside it. Seems to be a lot better this time around for actually picking up and securing like that. That's so much more stable. So this has definitely been improved. I'm very happy with how it's working so far. Another big problem these claws had was multiple logs. So we've got two pretty small pieces about the same size. Let's see how well we can pick up multiple logs and hold on to them with the new improved claw. Seems alright. I'm not seeing a lot of squirming. Logs seem to be held reasonably secure. Well, that is a vast improvement. They weren't securely sort of fastened inside the mouth of the claw. They were just kind of gripped by the tip of the top finger, pushing against the bottom too, rather than having them completely, you know, sort of covered. Oops. I missed the log entirely. Definitely misjudged that one. But yeah, those logs stayed put. They stayed in position, well behaved. I like that. I like that indeed. Got a couple more bits over there still to get as well. Still not finished in this first. Oh, I might just got myself wedged. No, we're free. I just rolled over a log as well. Still got quite a bit of wood inside this clearing that we haven't picked up yet. So I think scavenging here as something different that we haven't tried yet. You know, we could actually end up netting quite a bit of cash. You can see what we've got in the trailer already. An interesting sort of mixture of thick stumps and thinner branches and some short branches as well. An interesting and kind of eclectic mix. And we still have quite a few of these sort of dead stumpy bits and bits of trunk that need to be cleared away. So I think we could stand to potentially make a decent little bit of cash doing this. So I'm going to carry on scavenging, and I'll check in with you when we're about ready to head over to the sawmill. Alright, we have just about picked this area clear. I don't think there's any more loose logs. And some of these are a little bit long. A little awkward to try and get in there. Well, can I close the cover on those? Well, not really. There's quite a bit of wood in there. We can always try and squeeze a bit more in there, but any more of these long logs like that, we're going to struggle, I think, to get them actually in there. Ooh, bit of lag. Bad bit of lag there. Must be the logs that's causing that. Let's take a quick shortcut through the petrol station because we're losing logs. We'll fill the tractor up. Yep, that is filling up. I'm stuck. There we go. Let's go back and get those logs that we dropped. In fact, I wonder if I pick them up this way. That might work. There we go. If we get any height restrictions, we could be in trouble, but we do have the logs in there. Oh, it's trying to make a break for it again. And there goes a signpost. Well, we had to take one out at some point today, didn't we? I think we should just take the... Oh, yeah, getting some bad lag as well. I think we should just take these to the store and sell them. I say the store, to the sawmill. They're definitely causing our screen to lag out quite badly, as you can see. Really badly. So to spare you potential motion sickness from watching a really jerky footage like this, I'll skip ahead and I'll see you at the sawmill. Oh, there goes another signpost. Whoops. I wonder if that counts as something I can sell. I doubt it. We'll stick it in the sale box anyway, just in case, see if it disappears. And so let's see how much we can get for this wood that is squirming all over the place. 3.5 grand. It's not bad. It's free crop, free wood just lying around, not doing anything. That's just from one of the many little sites that's around there. So I suppose the other thing to do would be to try wood chipping. How much is a wood chipper going to cost me? Let's have a look. Wood chips. That's going to be in forestry equipment. You see, there's no small wood chipper anymore, but that's actually remarkably cheap. The Gents BA725. It's cheaper than the portable one, which we don't have the power to run anyway. You need 250 horsepower. We're nearly 100 horsepower short. So 64 grand. Is it? How much would it cost to actually lease one of those? And you can change the wheels as well. Okay. It costs 5 grand to lease one of those. It's not worth it. It's not worth the lease costs. So instead, what we'll do is we'll carry on scavenging away. You can see that we've got a bit of cloud cover has rolled in. It's not quite as bright and sunny as it was earlier. Got some truly wonderful screenshots that I took while I was doing the scavenging. With the way the light was glinting and shining through the trees and onto the tractors. Looked absolutely stunning. But I'll carry on scavenging. I'll scavenge this section to get all the stuff that we couldn't pick up. And then we'll move round to the next one down, and we'll continue doing that. And hopefully we can actually make a nice little bit of cash cleaning out some of these log sites near our farm of loose dead wood like this. Having a trailer full of dead wood like this, it's certainly helping to generate a bit of money, but as you can see, it's also generating quite a bit of lag when you get anywhere near the trailer. That's another 4 grand, and I want to check something. No, I was wondering whether it maybe would clear up the slot count ever so slightly. It hasn't. Might improve performance though in terms of future lag in those areas that we've now cleared out. So that's the top 2 logging areas now cleared out, as well as the one that we did at the very start of this as well, down by the gas station. Let's see if we can find another one. And have our crops grown at all? Did I actually turn crop growth back on? Yes, I did. Let's increase that to normal. There we go. So let's go hit the next area. In fact, there's one just over there, look. By our farm. Let's go hit that one. And we might actually be able to cut logs up in this area if we own enough of the land. That might be just outside of our owned area. Just shoo the birds away. Bouncing and bobbling around quite a bit over here. The ground is really bumpy and uneven. So let's park up there for a second. Yeah, there's no way I'm picking that up, but can I chainsaw this? No, it's outside of our purchasable land area, as expected. So we'll clear out this little area here as well, and then continue on down the hill to the next logging area, and work on that one as well. So we have another load of wood in here, and once again we have a lot of lag. And just under 5 grand for that wood there. So we have been making some money, bit by bit. We're sitting at around 13,000 now, which isn't too bad, but it's slow going, and we kind of really need to make money a little bit faster than this. So we've experimented with that. We've played around with it and see what we've been able to do. Let's see what there is in the contracting. Well, there's not a lot of jobs actually. Not many at all. There's that cotton job again. Harvesting job on field 9. That's going to take a little while. There's a lot of harvesting jobs actually. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be that much we can do, really. Other than continuing what we're doing there. You can see our crops have grown another stage. Still no extra growth on the trees that we've planted though. And they will need to be kind of cut down between a harvest so that we don't damage crops, with those trees as they fall or we try and retrieve them. Let's check the store prices. Also the shop prices for selling goods. Oh, look at that! The grain elevator east is 16.35 and increasing. So there's a good chance that we can sell our soybean. What else have we got? We've still got some sugar beets to sell. We've got a price of 2.38 and climbing at Port South East. Hopefully that'll go a little bit higher. So I'm going to park up and I'm going to wait for these prices to stabilise, and then I think we'll run those down to the respective sell points and cash those in. Which means I'm going to need the other trailer. So what I'm going to do as well is, where shall I dump? the log claw. Let's dump it over here next to the spike. I'll break out the pallet forks, and I'll start unloading our pallets off the back of our flatbed, and we'll get that converted back over into a 12,000 litre grain trailer, so that when those prices have stabilised, we'll have 2 trailers to shift the grain, and we'll be able to move it in batches of 24,000. So the price for soybean has now stabilised, and it's stabilised quite nicely at 17.86 per 1,000 litres at the grain elevator east. You can see the beets price still kind of going up at port southeast, but we're, as I say, heading off to sell the soybean first. Grain elevator east is the same place as we were taking the beets on our last contract, so we know where it is. It's not too long a drive, I suppose, going this way. Oh, the moon is coming up, look. Sun's setting over there. Moon is up already. So let's make our way over. Hopefully we can get a really good price on this. We've got another couple of trailers to take after these two, so we can't hang around too much. I'm not entirely sure, but I think, based on some feedback that I've heard from some of you guys as well, that the price seems to stay as it is for the hour that you're tipping in before it then drops, which is kind of, if that's the case, a reversion back to how it used to be in Farming Sim 15. So if we start tipping these loads in, then the price shouldn't dip until around either 8 o'clock or an hour after we make the first tip. I would imagine it'll be 8 o'clock. So that's in, what, 44 minutes time, and of course dropping, running at ×5 at the moment. We may possibly slow time down on the approach to 8 o'clock if we're still not there with the second tip. It's going to be quite easy getting there. It's going to be a little bit slower on the way back up because this hill and the weight of the 2 trailers does mean that we are going to be running a little bit slow up here, about half speed all the way up this hill. And with that sun setting, we're getting this gorgeous lighting effect and these shadows being cast. That logging area is completely stripped out. This logging area, I've stripped about half of that one out as well, so still a few loose logs left in there, but it was just taking up so long that I wanted to take a break from it. I spent the entire day just grabbing loose logs. And we're going to take a different route. We're going to take a diversion. So we're going to turn off just here. Oops. Nearly missed the turn then. It's quite a steep hill. And there goes a signpost. I say quite a steep hill. It's a very steep hill just here. Hadn't realised just how steep it was. Look at that. Got a little nature walk sign just there, I think. There goes the train in the background. But this road will cut down part of our travel, as it'll intersect with the road that goes straight over to the grain elevator east. Yeah, am I going to the right place? Yeah, grain elevator east. That's the sell point. So you can see where we are, and that little sort of shortcut that we've kind of taken. There's that long, slow climb up that first little bit of the really steep hill, and now we're motoring along. You can actually see the sell point up in front of us. And what's the time? 7:30. Yeah, we're going to need to slow time down for this. So let's line up where we can so we can drive in a straight line while we do this. There we go. And not risk driving into the river. Never a good thing. Especially when we're carrying 24,000 litres of money crop here. Nice little bridge over the river. And we don't have to worry about getting hit by the train because we saw it go through on the way down. So let's pull in and make a sale. Looking for some good money here. Now, we're running in tandem as well, so what I need to do is change the tip side on both of these trailers. There we go. When we have them jerry-rigged together, you know, daisy-chained like that, you can't tip them both. You can only tip the one at the back because the tip angle is too tight for the one at the front to tip. So just changing to a tip side allows us to tip them both like that, nice and simple. And there we go, we just got 43,000. What's that done to the price? Has it done anything at all? No, it's still 1786. That's good. That's what we're expecting to see. So the question is now, when we get back with the second load, will they be okay? And will they still be at that price? And also, will the price change at 8 o'clock? We'll run the camera, or we'll run the timer to see what happens at 8 and see if the price does dip as soon as it hits that new time point. So I'll skip ahead until we're on our way back with the second load, and this is really going to give us quite a nice little injection of finance today. This is our second trip. The remaining 16,000 litres and change of our soybean crop. There we go. That's all that tipping in quite nicely. There we go. If we take another look at the price, still 1786 as you can see, and our crop prices have stabilised on the sugar beets as well. Not a stellar price, but not too bad. I think we'll sell at the grain mill for 254. So we'll go and retrieve those in just a moment. We've got another 29,000 litres, or another 29,000 euros there. So we're now up to just, what, 85,000 euros or so in the bank. That's pretty nice. Now, I did say I wanted to see what happens when we hit 8 o'clock, so let's quickly whiz time up. See, it's just getting very dark all of a sudden. There we go, that's 8. And if we look at the price, it's still 1786. Oh, no. Yep, it is 1786. So the price is holding steady pretty well. Maybe it's an hour from when you make the first tip, so we'll check back again when it gets to about 1:15ish. See what happens. But now we need to go and retrieve those soybeans that we left, not the soybeans, sorry, the sugar beets that we left in the railroad silo. So we've got to head over to the opposite side of the map to collect those, and then double back to the grain mill, which is just over the other side of the mountain there, just the other side of that hill by the petrol station. So a little back and forth trip, another little sell of some more product, and that'll leave us getting that a little bit closer to having 100 grand on hand, and we'll stick that in the bank overnight, obviously to reduce our interest payments down, because we're still paying quite a bit in interest, and it takes us that little bit closer to being able to buy some new land. And tomorrow we'll be able to harvest our canola that's growing, and then hopefully if we can sell that for a really good price, that'll bring us even closer still. So definitely starting to make a little bit of progress now. We're turning our fields over nice and quickly now that we've kind of got the weeding system down. There's the railroad silo just here. Let's swing in. Grab the sugar beets that we stored in here from that contract. We'll have to do this into both trailers as well. We won't have enough capacity in just one. So they do fill really quickly from silos, these trailers, don't they? There we go. So now, back to the grain mill. There is the grain mill just up in front of us. You can see the lights on the side of the building. Actually, no, that's not the grain mill. This is the grain mill. That's the petrol station that we saw the lights on. So let's get these sugar beets sold. See how much we'll get for this. Not much, but you know, we can get a couple of grand. It's better than nothing, isn't it? Throw some light on the situation so we can see exactly what's going on. Looks like we're going to hit 90,000 or just about. Maybe not 90, but close. 88.5. Okay, that's not bad. That's respectable. An extra 3.5 grand there. Looking at the price for soybean, it's still 17.86. It hasn't gone down. So there is some stability in the markets. That's, you know, we've had a good sample size to sell today, and I'm looking at the prices for canola. We've got a couple of prices on the increase. Obviously, they'll be dead prices by this time, by the time we're ready to sell tomorrow. But again, it'll give us a good benchmark to what we can potentially expect when it comes to selling tomorrow. It looks as though 1,200 is a pretty strong price for canola at this first kind of look here. So all in all, I think it's been a reasonably successful day. We've gone around and played around with some logs and tested out the theory of scavenging. It works, but expect some lag if you do it, and you will make a little bit of money. Nothing special, but nothing, you know, nothing too low to make it unworthwhile. And we've also sold bean harvest and those leftover bits of sugar beets. So we've raised quite a bit of cash today, which has put us in a very healthy situation financially. If we throw that into the bank, let's repay that in, get that loan down. Look at that, we have a loan of 550,000 euros now. That gives us, because we can take 735, that gives us just under 200,000 that we can call on. So with the canola money tomorrow and another few contracts, we're getting very, very close now to being able to buy the plot of land around field 3, which will give us that extra bit of land for selling. Then hopefully our trees will come in pretty soon. We'll be able to cut those down, link fields 1 and 2 together with some extra land for crops, and we can really start to earn some good money and expand our farm even more. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Felsbrunn Farm very soon.